Greetings, my fellow eagles and the entire world. This is Eagle Emmanuel Mensa with inspirations and guidance from Eagle Helen Mensa in the non physical world, coming into your homes and your minds with a message of empowerment and enlightenment. Today is the 14th of May in the year 2024, and it is a beautiful and wonderful day. So let us rejoice and be glad in this day. Today, I'm going to speak to you on the topic your sicknesses are not hereditary, but the effects of negative beliefs. I repeat, your sicknesses are not hereditary, but the effects of negative beliefs. And so today's topic is more or less a continuation of where we left yesterday. Yesterday, I spoke to you about negative emotions that we tend to think that we exhibit them because we inherited them from our family line or family lines. And it is the same thing with sicknesses, both in the scientific world and the non-scientific world. We believe that there are some sicknesses that are in our blood. We inherit them from our parents or family members of our forefathers or ancestors. Today, just as I did yesterday, I'm presenting to you the true perspective about how these things happened. Yes, on the surface, this belief or this concept or perception that we inherit this kind of diseases appears to be true, but from the truth perspective, truth perspective, this is not true. And as I speak, I explained to you yesterday, we are born into this world and we come through our parents. They were here before us, and our parents too, their parents were here before them, and it goes on and on and on. And as human beings, we're evolving, and therefore, at any point in time, people try to understand things. And based on their level of understanding, they give names or give explanations to things. And so, all of us came into this world perfect, well resourced to thrive and to be successful, to have happy life on this earth. And as a matter of fact, the only reasons why we exist on this earth is to be happy, to have a good feeling, to have that good life, because it is only for that purpose that we are here. We are here to move forward, and it is only when you feel good, you are happy that you grow, you move forward in every aspect of life. And so when humanity, those who came before us, appear on this earth, they form their beliefs about things. And therefore, the lack of understanding of the arrangement between us and ourselves in the non-physical leads to the creation of all these kind of things. But it is as a result of the differences in the thoughts in our physical self and that of the thoughts of our non-physical self. And as I've already explained, and I would like to rehash it, that every human being, you live in two parts, your physical part and your non-physical part. The non-physical part is the real you, and it is that physical part that focuses just a fraction of itself into this body, so that it will be able to operate on the physical world. But that doesn't mean that you are separated or you are stand alone from this non-physical aspect of you. And so this aspect of you in the physical thinks, and this aspect of you in the non-physical thinks. And the arrangement is that the two thoughts, or your thoughts from both worlds, must come into agreement. And that is how you form your positive emotions. Happiness, joy, success, all these things that we are craving for. But as soon as there is disagreement, misalignment in thought from these two sides of you or every one of us, then we create negative emotions. And negative emotions the effects of negative emotions or the indulgence of negative emotion or the failure to recognize that negative emotions are only indication, messages from our internal system telling us that we are moving away or we are not in alignment with our true self. And therefore, we need to take action. If we don't do that, then and we continue to indulge in these negative emotions, we continue to create that kind of rift between ourselves, the physical and the non-physical, and that brings about negative emotions. And indulgence in this leads to sicknesses. And so, since people who have been here, those that we came through, those who formed the rules that we came to this world, they had already created this. They had their beliefs, and their beliefs has created that kind of rift between their non-physical self and the physical self. And so all the sicknesses and diseases that they exhibited as a result of this disconnection, or not disconnection, that may be a strong word, but in kind of misalignment. And therefore, as we were born into their hands, and as I explained yesterday, a child or babies, right from the time you were in your mother's womb till the time that you come out up to the age of 7, you do not think to process things, but you download things. It's a kind of mechanism within every human being that we download these things automatically and becomes part of us. And since we are coming into their hand, or we've come into their hands, and they are those bringing us up, we automatically download whatever thing that they have already created. And also, children learn by observing their parents. And so all of us, we're just looking at our parents and observing them, and we took it from them. And so their thought pattern, their negative thought pattern that has created misalignment between them, that they're exhibiting their diseases, we have taken it. And as I said again yesterday, if there is any kind of inheritance, then it is the thoughts and emotions that we have inherited from them. And since the overindulgence or indulgence in negative emotions leads to sicknesses, we will automatically exhibit those sicknesses. And therefore, if you take any kind of sickness, maybe or by the time you were born, your dad or mom have already been classified that they have this kind of diseases, they have this kind of sicknesses, and that is what they sold to you, and you accept it. And so that becomes your line of thinking. And so long as you are thinking in that line, you will by nature or by your nature, the way you were created, bring about that in your life. Unless you change your thought process, unless you go against that. And so this kind of thing that we talk of hereditary, that it is in our blood, it is in our family line, and therefore we make excuses for them, are not wholly true. It is a half true. Yes, the inherited aspect comes only in the area when we were younger or we were babies, that we downloaded all these things from our family lives, our parents, and then it becomes our way of operation. And all these things are what? The operation of thought, beliefs, negative beliefs that have been formed are just simple thoughts that have been practiced over and over and over, that they have become chronic, and so becomes our pattern of thinking. And so your diseases are not anything that you inherited from anyone, like a disease, but it is the thoughts that you inherited, the belief that you inherited from your parents, your family line, and you keep on thinking in that line. That has created a rift between yourself in the non-physical and yourself in the physical. And since there is this rift, the automatic effect or result that must appear in your life is a disease, is a sickness. And so there is nothing that hereditary, but what we talk of is the power of thought. And this is the time that we have to understand the way we operate. You are a human being, a powerful being, created or made in the likeness of God. The presence, the spirit, the energy that animates everything in the universe is the same energy that animates you, that energy that turns itself into you, into the physical. But you are not standing alone. You have direct contact with this energy, with the spirit. And it is our responsibility to keep this channel or link open and effective. Anything that we do to disturb this connection brings about negative emotions. And as we indulge in the negative emotions, the effect of the negative emotions in our body is sickness. And so if you are living and you take control of your life, your mind, and think only in the positive. And as I've always been saying, always look at every situation, everything through the eyes of God. God has no concept of negativity. God has no concept of any like bad or whatever. There is the only thing in God's equation is goodness. And that's where you say the goodness of God. And so think in the positive. Think above all seeming negative things, and you will see all of them turning into positive. And so your sickness, whatever sickness or whatever situation that you are battling with, that you have accepted that it is from your family line, therefore there is nothing that can be done to it, even with scientific treatment. It's a false belief. Change that belief, but begin to see yourself as a pure positive energy that came into this world or into this universe to thrive. And the only way you will thrive is to find an alignment between yourself in the non-physical and yourself in the physical. And once you do this, you will remain healthy, you will remain successful. For your true nature, the true nature of every human being on earth here is good health and prosperity, abundance. For we are the incarnate, we are the individualization of God who is abundant and pure health. And so, this is the time that you got to understand who you are. You are a powerful human being walking on this earth, given the right and the power to choose. And the choice you make are the thoughts that you choose to think. Therefore, think rightly. Think rightly. Whatever situation that you are going through can be corrected. And that is by you thinking positive thought over the situation, by not continue indulging in the negative thought. The way the universe works, or the universe works in such a way that everything in our life, every situation is like a number line. You have the positive and the negative. You must always be on the positive if you want to receive or to arrive at positive figures. And therefore, when you are in a situation, there is also the good side of that situation. If you are in a bad situation, if you are sick, the other side of your sickness is health. Therefore, think about health, but not the sickness. And therefore, what we do is that we think that when we complain, when we narrate all that we are going through, then we think we are actually dealing with the situation. But that is not the case. The more you talk about it, the more the universe brings all these things to you. Because by the work of the law of attraction doesn't discriminate. Whatever you will say, both positive and negative, it is taken as your request and it is answered. And therefore, to be wise and live and have positive and prosperous life, a life free of sicknesses or any negative situation, is to look at things from the positive side. And as you do that, your life will move from glory to glory, for you are walking in partnership. You are walking in alignment with your greatest self, which is God. And therefore, the drumming of the problem the drumming about of the problems you are going through, all the elaborations and other things that you are saying. Some people paint their situation in a very negative way just to seek attention, just to get sympathy from other people. Those people cannot help you. You are recreating more of it. And these are negative beliefs that we've inherited from our forefathers. And so we keep on doing that and we are handing it over to our children. They have already downloaded all these things from our system. But you have the ability and the power to cut this, to revert this, and that is to begin to control your mind. Know that everything in our life, be it poverty, be it good health or bad health or riches, whatever, are the product of thoughts. And it comes about as a result of the relationship we have with our greater self in the non-physical and our self on this earth. We must come into agreement for your body to work perfectly. Every part of you must work harmoniously. So harmony is the first order in heaven. That's why this statement is made. And therefore, harmony between you in the physical and you in the non-physical brings about every beautiful and perfect thing that we desire. And so, debunk that negative belief or thought that has been handed down to you and every one of us, that some sicknesses are hereditary. We inherit them from our family line and parents. Yes, on the surface it is true, but in reality it is not the sickness we are inheriting. We only inheriting the thoughts or the beliefs of our parents, our family members, and that translate into the sicknesses that we see on this earth. Therefore, if we want to check it, then we have to go and check the thought factor. That is my message for you. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And so, be enlightened and be empowered by this message and begin to take control of your life. Any sickness that you are battling with, that you call it hereditary, it is in your grandfather had it, your father had it, and you are having it, and you are afraid that your children will have it. It's not anything that is true, but you will only hand it over to your children if only you continue to practice those thoughts. But you can cut this by changing your line of thinking. For thoughts is the root of all things, good or bad. Thank you. And I say, may the overshadowing presence of God that keeps the stars in the open from falling on us, that keeps the planets in their orbit such that they do not clash with one another, keep you, lead you, and direct you, keep on inspiring you and opening your mind and eyes, such that you will take control of your mind and co-create a beautiful and a wonderful life without all this kind of sicknesses and this thing that we were putting upon ourselves, but a life that really demonstrates, that shows the beauty and the glory, the true nature of the energy, God, or whatever that you will call this presence that we are made of. Thank you, and God bless you.